Studios. Today we're going to be talking about what we foresee as the new format of HeroClix. As you know, they announced their new rotation, and they're going to be cutting Secret Invasion, Arkham Asylum, Hammer of Thor, Brave and the Bold, and Web of Spider-Man. Let me start off by saying I'm really excited that they did cut Web of Spider-Man. It was really what they needed to do. Unfortunately, that set was only in rotation for less than 2 years, which is unfortunate, but quite honestly,
it needed to go.
It needed to go. So we're going to talk about models that we think are going to be really powerful in the new environment. Personally, I think the no-brainers, you're going to see White Lantern Flash become incredibly good.
Definitely.
Superman, specifically, Eradicator. I think you can actually maybe even see a Reign of Superman theme become kind of predominant. I think that would be a viable theme army that you can play in tournaments, which would be really nice.
Yeah, without Kid Zoom sort of slowing down everybody with Hypersonic, I think you're going to see the 150-point Superman strapped with the Gauntlet, and Eradicator makes a easy 300-point team, just bang right there.
Yep, and I mean, you put the Gauntlet on Eradicator, Superman incredibly powerful, but he's completely sacrificial. If you don't want, like, you don't care if he dies or not, which is really nice. You are lacking some support, but oh well, what are you gonna do? It's just, you know, two powerful characters. One of that actually leads me to the next point that I think giant size X-Men. I think you're going to see a lot of play out of those 35-point support pieces, you know, or like roulette. I was super excited when I found out that, you know, Nurse and Night Nurse, I don't really like them as characters being in a format. I think it's kind of dumb. Just that makes no sense. Plus, it's just 10 points for support, you know. So them being gone, it's going to change a bit, because before you just routed out your army. Of course, now we have the Infinity Gauntlet to round out the armies.
Yeah, yeah. The thing that the nurses did was they sort of they supported turtling a little bit, you know, running back and giving yourself time to heal, then going back into.
Well, especially with armies with Nightcrawler that could just really abuse that.
Yeah.
So while the format wasn't necessarily slow, because you kind of were seeing this thing where you had a Metron Zoom or Metron Nightcrawler kind of battling it out, and it wasn't. They weren't super slow games. They also weren't super fast. What I foresee in the future being the new playstyle is a much more control-oriented armies because of the Infinity Gauntlet. I think that's going to have a huge impact on the play environment. But at the same time, I think the new format's really going to allow for much more aggressive armies to take charge. It's like telekinesising your beat stick into the fray and really taking out one of their attackers. That's actually going to be a very viable strategy when you're having people kicking back with the Infinity Gauntlet. You need to take that guy out quick. So I think we're going to see a lot of Alpha Strike armies becoming really popular, which again leads me to giant sized X-Men. I'm really excited to see how Death Wolverine, Death Archangel end up turning out with the new format. Maybe even some X-Men armies, the Frost, the Cyclops.
Yeah,
we'll see.
There's the Psylocke in there with telekinesis. I think it's just the regular set one, not the OP one.
Always one of my favorite pieces.
Tossing your Alpha Strikers out there and getting that first hit.
I do like how, with just the giant size X-Men being these small support pieces, it's really going to encourage bigger support pieces. One of my favorites is Black Alice. You know, so characters that are maybe in the 100-point range with multiple support powers are going to become really important. Or, which also makes Superman very good, beat sticks without wit or beat sticks with probability control. That's going to be pretty clutch, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're seeing that we're going to lose Holiday Killer, we're going to lose Jason Blood, we're going to lose J. Jonah Jameson.
I love that forever.
I think with with the support characters that they have now, it's not that they're not as good as ones we've seen in the past, and so what I think we're going to see is we're going to see those 100-point characters with the abilities. So we're going to see the leaders. I mean, Amadeus Cho is great. You know, characters sort of in that range, a little bit more points, a little bit more there. You know,
Yeah.
It's not just 4 clicks of life with 3 of them having probability control and blank everything else.
Or, you know, characters like the Holiday Killer who have 11 attack for some awful reason. Or Jason Blood, you know, tough to deal with. He's good the entire time. Has probability, has mystics, turns into Etrigan, who is perplex and probability control. And hey, you know, 9 attack with Blaze, so you might just murder someone right there with him. If they leave him alive long enough, very difficult to deal with. So it's going to turn into that the support pieces, unless they are secondary attackers, will be a lot easier to deal with and tone it down a bit. One thing I'm not looking forward to, and something I think you might be able to kind of bank on, is that now with the new format plus the Infinity Gauntlet, I think the game is really kind of gearing towards one-man armies, especially with the new ruling of now you can push your power cosmic pieces. So you're going to see maybe Darkseid with the Gauntlet, or and people are saying Imperiex with the Gauntlet's going to be awesome. Maelstrom might really start coming out because he can push now.
Yeah, exactly. When he gets to the end of this dial there, when he gets really good, you know, by then he's had enough time that the Gauntlet's going to be kicking in, and he's going to be a beast towards the end of the dial.
Also, with the Gauntlet, you can push him for damage, and instead of turning the Gauntlet, you could take damage.
Yeah.
So if you want to kick back a little and really rush him to those great clicks, you can do that.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to see what happens in the new format, because one of my favorite armies to play are the kind of very aggressive with the TKing Alpha Strike. That's something I really like to play, something I'm really looking forward to. Unfortunately, my favorite army, where the beat stick was Death Wolverine, just didn't have a high enough attack to take down Metron. And that was literally it. I'd see Metron, he'd have a 19, I could perplex him up to 11 with the army I was playing. Just, it didn't happen, you know? So, I mean, realistically, it was only I needed 2 8s, and I had a prob and he had a prob, but it usually went in his favor. Just, unfortunately, that's the way it goes. So thanks for stopping by Six Sided Studios to watch our second episode on the new format. Look forward to making a lot of other videos, and hope you come and see those too.